And we are on Mars. Hey, how's it going? My name is Dizza and we'll be looking at the latest Far Cry 5 DLC, Lost on Mars. I'll be giving you a general synopsis on everything new and what you can expect of your time here. This video will cover the beginning plot point, map objectives, weapons and enemies, but no story spoilers after the initial introduction. But if you wish to experience everything for yourself firsthand, best advice would be to go in blind and enjoy. Okay, to start things off, Lost on Mars has a fantastic intro that really sets up a buoyant and playful tone from the beginning, which is basically a longer version of the comic style teaser trailer that was put out 1 week ago. In this adventure, you play as Nick Rye, the pilot specialist we meet in Hope County, and assisting alongside us is the charming and lovable Herc, who will be there every step of the way as a gun for hire, although not as his usual self. You see, Herc had his body completely disassembled and uploaded his consciousness to a weapon-wielding machine called Robot. One of our jobs is to collect his various body parts scattered across the Martian planet and put him back together before the end. The basic premise is that there are alien inhabitants on Mars who are threatening to invade Earth. These guys have an appearance similar to spiders, so I hope you don't have arachnophobia. And as Earth's chosen heroes, we will assist an AI super being known as Anne by collecting power cores and rebooting a series of terminals in order to bring her back to full power and stop the invasion. Of all the DLCs shown in the post-launch Season Pass trailer, this was the one I was most excited for. Lost on Mars is enjoyable and different and feels like a complete DLC. Visually, the landscape is bleak and hostile as you would expect. The sky is beautiful and the environment is littered with artificial space structures as points of interest for you to explore, not only on the surface but also vertically. I'm loving this photo mode that came with the latest version, eh? Yeah, I think I'll use that as a thumbnail for this video. Most of the exploration is done on foot in low gravity as there are no vehicles available, obviously, but they've included some well thought out gear like the space jets and space wings, so you can hover and glide around the planet, which makes traversing between landmarks efficient and less laborious. There are some platforming portions of this game that mixes up the gameplay, and fast travel is available in this one, which was a missing feature in the Hours of Darkness. The map size is comparable to that of Vietnam, and still maintains its open world structure, although the first 90 minutes or so are quite linear, with limitations to where you can go before it opens up to you. In the base game of Far Cry 5, you play as a silent protagonist which some players felt disconnected with. In Vietnam, Wendell Redler was the dude, but we didn't really get to establish a relationship with him, and the story was basically just crash, kill, and get to the chopper! On Mars, we get a likeable protagonist in Nick, plenty of action, fun, and lots of hilarious back and forth banter with Herc from start to finish. And I did find myself laughing my ass off on more than just one occasion.
Me and this repair bot, we gotta exchange numbers and just Netflix and chill like ASAP.
Out of the 3 main characters so far, Nick is by far the best. In terms of weapons, there are 12 guns with 4 available weapon slots plus a power glove. You'll be able to bring back some of these guns to Hope County after unlocking them. As you progress, you'll get access to an assortment of pistols, beam guns, rifles and shotguns that are purchasable using the Lost on Mars currency called Hemoleum. Hemoleum is the pulpy green ingredient harvested from dead arachnids. All major locations in the game feature a 3D printer where you can buy your guns, items and suit upgrades. The combat can be difficult at times as there is little cover on the surface of Mars, and the guns work on a cooldown system, as do the space jets, so it can feel a little bit like a micro-resource management game at times, but your mobility is key to getting you out of sticky situations. You'll find yourself juggling between guns and performing takedowns on 6 nicely designed enemy types. They vary from your typical lowly workers, projectile shooting scouts, armoured soldiers, flying types, kamikaze hatchlings, and of course, the Queen herself. There are 15 queen arachnids dispersed throughout the map for you to find and kill. They are tough opponents that project an energy depleting poison. Killing all 15 will earn you the Queen is Dead trophy, which I have a location guide for on my channel, so look for that if you need some help. If you aren't cautious, you can get completely outnumbered, which is frustrating with the constant barrage of projectiles and knockdown animations. Fortunately, there are some very helpful items at your disposal. These Queen Hearts work as a useful throwable item that turns hostile enemies into a frenzy to attack one another. And the cock blocker renders you completely invincible for a brief time. Health regen is slow, and if you don't keep an eye on your cooldowns, you can get in quite the pickle. Mission wise, there are a bunch of things to do. As I said earlier, you'll be hunting down Herc's body parts, rebooting terminals, assisting repair robots, reading notes left behind by Larry Parker, remember that guy, and entering amusing dream states via geothermal anomaly quests. These missions spice up the enemy variety and gives the player a little break from the red planet to maintain your attention. Oh, and those Clutch Nixon challenges are back. But if you weren't a fan of those wingsuit stunts in the main game, then you ain't gonna like these ones. The game runs really well on PS4, and I didn't come across any issues except for one minor environmental modelling bug, and a small downward pointing camera issue after performing a power glove stomp. There are no cinematics or cutscenes if that's what you're expecting, but the constant dialogue does make up for it. I really like the ambient soundtrack to this DLC, from the sci-fi vibes of the main menu, to the comical tunes you get in the wacky hallucination-induced missions, and also the songs that Brobot will pump out during epic boss fights. Lost on Mars is fun right out of the gate, and will leave the player feeling satiated once done. The Mars environment is desolate and pretty, but after several hours can become a little samey. I enjoyed my time with it, but started to miss Hope County, human civilization, and my numerous hiker NPC clones. So, replayability. Will I go back? No, I can't say I will. But I wouldn't replay Far Cry 5 from start to finish again either, even with a New Game Plus that is rumoured to likely come out sometime in the future. Lost on Mars offers more than Hours of Darkness in almost every way. Not to say that Hours of Darkness was a letdown by any stretch of the imagination. The side missions in Lost on Mars are good, and didn't repeat themselves to the point of feeling like busy work. I did take my time with it, taking notes and capturing footage for this video, so my guess is that it would take around maybe 6 to 8 hours to 100%, which is about an hour or two longer than the Vietnam DLC. If you're playing Far Cry, you're probably doing it for the single player story or to have fun in the sandbox and not the multiplayer. So if you're sitting on the fence trying to decide if this DLC is for you, you have to ask yourself how much you enjoyed the base Far Cry 5 game. What are your expectations? If you loved it, I believe it's worth your time and money to go and download Lost on Mars. It's more fun, more laughs, more action, more herc. It's classic, baddie and absurd Far Cry, but on a different planet. So there you have it, my review for Far Cry 5's Lost on Mars DLC. Let me know what you think of my review either in the comments or with a friendly thumbs up or a regretful thumbs down. I want to thank you for hanging out and watching this video. Until next time, my name is Dizza. I'll see you on the next one.